very, very new roster out there today. Only the libero and Xander Ket Rosinski are remaining from the starting roster from the past 2 days. First one right off the bat, though. That's Omari Young, Toronto native right there, coming right out of the middle. Good set there by Saad Sheikh, setter number 1 from Mississauga, the Pac-Man Volleyball Club. Great tempo there, and Omari just climbs that ladder so high.
It's good to see Murray getting a chance here. Second year, as you said, out of Toronto, played with the PVB Volleyball Club, and actually played with Xander Ket Rosinski for quite some time growing up playing club together, so a little bit of connection there.
Yep, PVB and then Galaxy after that. We have Skinner now back to serve for Ohio State. Popping that one in.
Now, Ohio State yesterday had a little bit of a different lineup than they've got as well today. Much closer to their first match that they played.
Sorry, I apologize. That server was Samuel Clark, not Kyle Skinner. I apologize. Both teams just kind of feeling each other out in the early goings here. It's the first match of the day, so 2 p.m. start. Always a little bit more difficult to get up for than that primetime slot. A great dig there by Ryerson. And Xander's going to have a chance to put it in, and wow. And that's another thing. I've been very, very impressed by, yes, Xander, he's physical, he swings hard, but in those out-of-system situations, he does such a good job here at staying patient and waiting for that ball to come to him so that he can hit that backdoor shot.
You can see how he takes a little further step as that ball comes from literally the baseline to get outside so that he can get close enough to the net and still make a shot and still see the ball and still see the block.
He does a really good job at opening up when that ball is out of system, but oh my goodness, in system, he's coming straight on like a freight train. And you know what? He might have one of the livest arms in North America right now. And I mean, we've seen a few of them here this weekend, but I don't know if, any other players dropped as many bombs as Xander Ket Rosinski.
It was great yesterday to see him play directly against his brother on the other side at UCLA. I remember early on when Cole was able to hit a couple shots off of Xander's arm, and then later into the second set, he had a really large stuff block, and I think they'll talk about that one at the dinner table at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard the comment, the announcer in house say it's Ket Rosinski on Ket Rosinski crime, that's exactly what it was. That was a nice swing there by Alex King out of the middle for Ryerson, and Ryerson really coming hot and heavy here early, 5-1, and forcing the Ohio State Buckeyes to call a timeout. See Tariq Sani peppering at the baseline right now for the Rams. He's getting an afternoon off. It was also a great moment, too, when Trent Ket Rosinski got subbed in, and he got quite the ovation from the crowd.
Absolutely, and that's really what's special about this. A lot of players playing at home. We've talked about some of these tournaments have happened in the past. They've happened in Alberta. They've happened in Florida. But to have this happen right here in Toronto, where a lot of family, friends can come out and see the athletes play, is really special for the Ontario kids.
Absolutely. Now Sheik back to serve. Thought that one was into the net, but we keep on going as Sheik is going to pick that one up, but dumped over by the libero. Oh, and there's Tolly there. No one home, and he swings away. Great transition set by Luke Linton. Hillman getting the rest today. Did Hillman start yesterday?
Hillman did not start yesterday. Okay. It was Michael Wright yesterday.
Michael Wright. Okay, so Ohio State with 3 setters on the roster, and all 3 of them getting a chance to start here.
And we'll see how different the first match with Hillman was really, really aggressive, left-handed setter, really liked to get involved, whereas Wright yesterday really tried to find his outside. It started off really establishing that middle and then got the ball to his outside hitters.
Wow, Tolly has just been coming in hot and heavy so far. 2 big kills early. He's got 66% of the Ohio State points so far.
And remember early on, Tolly was a little bit tight when he was attacking. He wasn't able to hit these shots. To start off this match, it looks like he's giving himself lots of space, able to hit the ball off the net, and therefore, able to finish his swing and not be too tight to the net.
Sheik to Ket Rosinski, and that's a connection that knows each other very, very well. They won a national championship together back in 2018. 18U back in Edmonton. Xander served off 10 aces in a row in the second set of that one against Seaside. Yeah, it was something else. That serve there by Ryerson finds its way into the net.
Great start to this match. Doesn't look like any rust. It looks like the athletes have gotten their rust out the first couple of days, and now it just looks like good, clean volleyball. So hopefully that's more for the entire day to come.
Devil Bliss with the swing there. It's picked up by Ryerson. Ket Rosinski this time with the roll shot, and that one's going to fall. And you know what? Every time you see that number 17 go up, you're definitely digging in, getting ready for that big dig, and he recognizes that, puts the little rollie over top. That's the one thing about these Ket Rosinski boys is, we mentioned Trent earlier. Trent's a multi-time beach national champion, and all three of the boys grew up playing beach volleyball as well. Oh, great dig there. Little lift there called on Young, and he smiles. He knows exactly why that was called right away.
Got to see our first attack from Devil Bliss there. It was really effective on Saturday night, and we'll see big things from him today, I'm sure.
Definitely one of the anchors of this Ohio State Buckeyes team. And, we haven't seen Jake Haynes at all. He hasn't even dressed at all. Probably, I haven't talked to Coach any of the Ohio State coaching staff, but I'm assuming he's, probably nursing a bit of an injury. But how good is that for a team like Ohio State to play a showcase, a tournament like this early on without their star player?
Well, it's about having a deep roster, and it's about not just having a good team, but a good program. And building programs takes time. We talked previously on the broadcast about legendary coach Pete Hansen being with it, and how Kevin Birch now has just taken over the pride of the Ohio State Buckeyes. And really, it is about sustaining a program, much more than just a team.
So far, we've seen Ohio State go to the middle 3 times early on here, as that was a big kill by Sam Clark, the freshman, and there's Sean Ryan on the outside getting the score. Ohio State started off slow, going down 5-1 early, but they've crawled themselves back into this one, now only trailing 7-9 as Devil Bliss is serving. Goes with the floater this time instead of the spinner. Oh my goodness, Xander Ket Rosinski, that's 4 kills already early on in this first set. Only 10 points for his team, and he's got 4 of them.
The back bump set to the C ball, right on the money.
Dug there by Ket Rosinski. Well, that's a tight set, and that one is going to go off the antenna and out of bounds. It's number 13, Derek Webster, for the Rams. Out of Ottawa, good old Glebe Collegiate boy there, GLB. Another Ottawa boy on this Ryerson roster, Alex King. Sheik with the setter dump on that one, and I'm suspecting we're going to see quite a few Ottawa guys go to Ryerson over the next few years, namely since Matt Harris, their head coach, is from Ottawa, and there's no varsity program in Ottawa at the moment. Ottawa U is trying to get their program going, so maybe we can talk to John Spraw and his First Point Foundation to see if we can get some funding for the GGs to join the RSEQ, actually. But works out well for Harris and his staff. He's actually in his first official year as the head coach of Ryerson. And another set to Tolley, and that's number 3 here in this first set for him. As we see here, and once again, staying off that net, giving himself that space, and setter's putting it right in his wheelhouse. He's just swinging away. When you have a set like that in the middle, it's almost hard not to score because you're off the net. You don't really have a block in front of you, and you just have the entire court to swing.
As long as you swing high, right?
Yes.
And you don't try and pull it down because that net is further away. The angles just change dramatically.
Yeah, that's why, a guy like Dan Ngima, Kofi Kid, is so effective because, especially last year or the past few years when they had Micah Ma'a setting him, he could almost set him at the attack line, and Dana was still able to swing away, and that's so dangerous as Tolly, number 4, already here.
Yeah, it's like a back row attack at that point, and the guys are so big and so strong that obviously they can hit from the back row. So a middle, although their approach is often very different than a pipe attack, should be able to still attack off the net.
Absolutely. Here we have Sean Ryan serving. On Saturday, we saw him on the right. Today, he is on the left. And Xander Ket Rosinski is finally shut down, much to the elation of the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's Reese Devilbliss shutting the door. Just does such a good job here. Oh, yeah. Gets around that one.
Angles back in.
And I think with Xander, it's really like if he's probably going to go over top of you once or twice, but you really need to set up your block solid, or else he's just going to use those hands all day long.
Yeah, he hits such a heavy ball that if your hands aren't solid, it's going to go off you, and you don't know where it's going to go. And if he goes over top, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It means you're taking away some space. He's not going to hit straight down, and hopefully you take away the space in the center of the court where your defenders aren't. If he goes over top you, chances are he's going to go close to where your defenders are, and the block's done his job then.
Veteran move there by Reese Devilbliss, going to the outside of that ball, rolling just over the top of the hands of Omari Young, falls right in the pot. Ohio State, after that slow start, right back in this one. And that is number 5 for Xander. A third of his team's points so far, and that is crazy.
Our stats actually have him at 7 kills.
At 7, oh my, okay. All right.
1 error.
Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Ooh, tough one there by Samuel Clark, but you talked about staying behind the ball. He was well ahead of that ball on that one, trying to dump it over on his back shoulder, as that's going to bring us to the technical timeout. Ryerson leading 16-12 here.
And on that, there's kind of 2 schools of thought. The setter was pushed off the net, right? And you want to ensure that you can keep some sort of attack in the middle of the court. So the middle kind of has 2 options. You can kind of go off the net and swing, and you'd hit a quick almost right out of the setter's hands, but it's off the net. And that's where we talked about you really need to stay disciplined. You can't try and pull that ball down because you're off. The other option is that you can go away. You can go actually to the net, but about as far as that setter's off the net, that's kind of how far you want to go away from him, but to the net. It does get a little more complicated as these teams start to run more back row balls, and you need to stay in your lane so that the guy coming over top of you doesn't jump on your back. But there are some options there that the middle can audible to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that type of stuff for young middles is usually some of the hardest stuff to learn, because if you're a middle, especially if you're a big guy here, looking at Sam Clark, 6'6", so he's probably been in the middle the most of his life, and you find a lot of success a lot of times, especially at those club levels, of just getting balls chucked up to you and you just going to town on them. And once you get into the collegiate game, it's way more detailed, and then once you get to the international game, that's where it's even another level.
And a lot of the times when it's younger, it's just be fast.
Yep.
Just be fast in the middle. Just be fast. But getting into the gaps and putting yourself in a position to attack the other middle's block, really you can outsmart some of the opposing teams.
And there we go, right off the net. It was Samuel Clark, and he gets the point there. And it's clear to me right now that Ohio State is really trying to run their stuff through the middle. They're trying to establish that middle, whether it's to just give them reps and get them experience, or if it's for some sort of game plan. We don't really know, but both Clark and Tolley have a few points on the board for both of them. Omari Young, he's stopped at the net there by Clark. And to the pipe. Good little rally here going. Devilbliss is slowed down by Sheik. Ohio State gets it back. Devilbliss again, a high off the hands, and he knew exactly what to do. Sheik, not the biggest blocker out there, and as Devilbliss is coming down, puts that off the top, out the back.
And you can see that matchup that he's really trying to work over. That was about 4 balls in transition that just kept going to Devil Bliss, really trying to work that matchup.
Haven't seen anything go to the backside yet for Ohio State, whereas we've seen ton on the backside for Ryerson, as Omari Young is there to clean up the garbage off the swing of Xander Ket Rosinski. If this was hockey, that'd be a garbage goal for sure. Go to the net, you stick down. Omari does such a good job at just going up and putting it straight down. Often we see players trying to fist that one, trying to get that big bounce, trying to make Sports Center, and that's usually when you don't make Sports Center, or you make the worst plays of the day. Oh.
One of those.
Yeah. Speaking of worst plays of the day, as we have Clark and the libero, Parker Mickish, going for the same ball, and they shank it out of bounds. 18-14 for the home team. Now we got Joel Hannon serving for the Ryerson Rams. Oh, big dig by Hannon. Oh, and Xander Ket Rosinski with the touch. And Joel Hannon, he's an interesting story. Never played volleyball. Never played volleyball really. He's the little brother to NHLer Scott Hannon, and he did his undergrad at Carleton. Didn't play there, but would go live in Vancouver over the summer and learned volleyball by playing beach volleyball at Kitts Beach. So when he came to Ryerson to do his master's, he decided he would try out indoor, and this is his second year on the team, and you can tell when he moves sometimes. He moves a bit of a beach guy. He doesn't have those natural volleyball movements, but there's no doubt that not only is he a great athlete, but he's also a great leader on this team. There's a lot of younger guys on this team, whereas he's already, he would technically be an upperclassman. He's doing a postgrad as opposed to being an underclassman, and he adds, some mental stability, let's say, to a young team like this Ryerson Rams squad. Big block there by the Buckeyes. Number 14, Robbie Murphy, partnering up with Sam Clark. We haven't really seen Murphy much yet today. That's his first touch of the ball, and his teammates are giving him a pat on the back, as that's 3 straight points for Ohio State, forcing the Ryerson Rams timeout.
Well, we'll just take a moment here to say thanks to our friends at Eichhorn Tax for being a proud supporter of the local volleyball community.
Thank you. We're always appreciative of our sponsors. Now, Parrish, you as we mentioned, you work here at this facility. You are part of the crew who brought this event together. How was yesterday for you when it was sold out, standing room only, and there was people buying tickets to stand up here and watch the match?
Yesterday was a kind of a culmination, and I won't even just say yesterday. The last 2 days have been a culmination of a lot of hard work by some really great people to bring this together. And there was a moment I was sitting just up here in the press booth. I wasn't commentating, and I just kind of sat back and took it all in. The quality of volleyball that we're seeing here is unparalleled. There's nothing like it. Except for at the national championship, and that doesn't get here very often. And the competition style that is here, the Canada versus U.S., we love to compete. I mean, the World Juniors are on right now, and that first match, we'll forget about yesterday's World Juniors match, but we always love to compete against our American counterparts. But for me, to see this facility was built specifically for the Pan American Games, but the legacy of allowing athletes from all over the world to come compete, that's why this center now still exists and still has millions of people that come each year.
Absolutely. A bit of a controversial point there, as Ryerson got the call. It looks like they wiped it off the block, but Ohio State was very emphatic that there was no touch. Linesman Jeff Sepp making that call, and Joe Coffey, Paul Coffey is a former NHLer, Hall of Famer, is sticking up with him. Ohio State not too happy, but they only trail by 1 here. There's a good serve there by Clark. Ooh, big swing there on the outside by Derek Webster.
You can see that little beach swing at the end, that little hand movement, a little bit more than a true hit with your shoulder kind of swing.
Absolutely. Goes thumb up down the line there. Webster, former Ottawa Maverick. And there's Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan, just everything the way he moves, the way he swings, his build, he reminds me so much of Sean Scott, the former beach volleyball player for the U.S.
what you're noticing right now on those last 2 points on both sides is that the block to the outside is just late. You get good clean looks at it, but it's because the setters to begin have really established the middle, and so the block is staying inside. They've almost crowded inside, and now we'll see if they start to release, maybe take half a step on the outside to be able to shut down those line shots.
Yep, tough one there. A bit of a misplay there by Webster on the serve receive, and that forces Matt Harris to call a timeout. All tied up here at 20-20 in the first set. And we've got a few, we've got 2 other games this afternoon. Next up will be Mac against Lewis. And then later on this afternoon, or later on this evening, sorry, at 7 p.m., that will be the Golden Bears from Alberta taking on the Long Beach State 49ers.
I was really impressed by Long Beach on night one. Everyone has said this is, they won a national championship, had multiple seniors graduate, and that this would be a rebuilding year. But they played so well against a really, really strong Trinity Western team. I don't think that they have looked like they are a class above a lot of the teams here, but Long Beach hung right with them, lost 15-13 in the 5th set, and very, very impressed by if this is a rebuilding year for Long Beach, if it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think, a lot of people are being like, that wasn't Trinity's best game, and absolutely it wasn't. They had multiple looks to finish it, both in the 4th and the 5th where they didn't. But at the same time, LBSU was forcing so many errors on the Trinity Western side. Mikish is going to give it outside to Sean Ryan. That's dug nicely, and now here's Xander with the roll shot. He picks it up again with the chicken wing. Now Hannon swings away. Joel Hannon with his first kill of the match. (22-20) as Webster heads back to serve for Ryerson. Oh, and Tolly had so much success early on, and I think that one was just a low set for him.
Yep.
Wright tried to, I apologize, not Wright. Lenton tried to get into his hands, and it was just low. And other than trying to pop it up almost like a bump serve, underhand serve, I don't think you can get that one over the net.
And that's what we were talking about a little earlier, the off and the away. And that one he elected to go off. But what that also does is it gives the middle blocker on the other side that extra fraction of a second to be able to reblock and jump over the net, because of the time it takes to travel from where you're hitting it off the net to get to the net. So it is about a timing. That one he just kind of, as you said, a little bit low, might have fluffed it just a little bit, but that's the risk you run with the off. You
also risk having 4 hands in front of you, because especially if you are bunch blocking like that, then you probably have that right side blocker, whether it's the setter or the right side, actively waiting for that set. And also when you're setting it a little bit off, it's maybe a little bit loopier than a straight 31 that's in system. You're not shooting it as much as maybe it's a bit more of like a 32.
You're right. And depending on how far you actually get off the net, the closer and closer you get to the attack line, the faster the set is actually to the pipe ball, not to the middle. You can actually make the pipe ball faster than the middle attack.
Yeah, absolutely. As Sean Ryan
just off that outside hand
goes down the line off the hands of Ket Rosinski. And we have Martin Lallemande, the Belgium import, coming in to serve for the Buckeyes. Here as they trail by 2. Ooh.
Not sure if that was a Polish or if that was...
Ooh, and Ohio State not too happy with the non-hands call on that one, and I kind of agree with them. I think there's...
Stayed in there a little long?
Yeah, it stayed in there a little long and came out a little ugly.
Might have been a throw as well.
Yeah.
But they've been all weekend. They've been letting them play.
Yes, that's true.
It hasn't been a tight whistle on hands. It hasn't been a tight whistle on really anything.
Yeah.
They've just been letting them play, and I like that.
Nice. So do I.
Nice
good
dig.
Pickup. Can they keep it going? They do, as Lallemande is going to put it over. Yeah. Right side again to Ket Rosinski, and he puts that one away. 25-21, first set goes to the Rams. And we are back now with set number 2 here. Ryerson Rams taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes. First set went to Ryerson as Joel Hannon gets us kicked off here. 2019 CanAm Volleyball Holiday Showcase at the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center, and Webster tries to save that one outside of the antenna, and first blood goes to Ohio State here in the second set.
During the break, we took a little look at what Ryerson has up next. As we mentioned, this is the last two matches for Ryerson, or last match for Ryerson and Ohio State. Ryerson looks to start January 10th. They play Western, 11th Windsor, and then McMaster and Brock the following weekend. So they've got a little bit of a heavy schedule coming up. So hopefully this tournament can really sharpen them up and get them ready for that second half.
Yeah, and after Brock, they have to make the trip to Kingston to play the defending champions Queens. So very, very heavy schedule, loaded schedule here for the Rams early on.
They started the first half 5-3 in conference, so they're in position to make a run in that second half.
Yep, they are trailing both Queens, Toronto, who is currently leading the OUA Queens, as well as Nipissing, who's had a pretty surprising first half of the season. And as strong as the OUA East is this year, the OUA West is an absolute battle. You've got MAC, of course, but Windsor, who's made trips to nationals past few years. They got fourth in the OUA last year. Western, who I think has a really, really good team. Now that they have their setting situation figured out a little bit better, doing very, very good. Guelph started the season 5-0, have cooled down a little bit since then. Waterloo, even though they only have, 2 wins, they are still dangerous, and Brock is a new program on the up. So that OUA West for me has been one of the most interesting divisions to watch in Canadian volleyball, as Joel Hannon was sprawling for that one as no libero on the court. And we talked a lot about Saturday. Sometimes just keeping the ball alive is all you need to do, because they kept the ball alive and ended up giving it to Ohio State for them to make the error, as Tali tries to keep that one alive and just swats it too close to the net for Devil Bliss to pick up.
Great scrappy point to start this second set.
Young puts that one in, and Sean Ryan, he stopped, but Tali's going to get a crack at it. Ooh, unfortunately, he lands in the net, goes over that center line. Good job there by Ohio State to keep that ball alive and get another swing. I almost miss the old net rules that we had, where you could touch the net, but you just couldn't touch the top of the tape.
I like that better.
Yeah, so do I.
It only lasted a year or two.
Yeah, it did only last a year or two. Ooh.
Anything goes.
Anything goes here at the showcase. That's a good shot there by Ryan, off the block, out of bounds. I like the fact that we've been able to see so many different looks here for Ohio State and all the teams, really. Nicely put in there, and Hannon is going to put that one high and inside for Webster, but great blocking there. Trying to roll it over the top, and they stay disciplined, pressed right at the right time, and just gets enough of it with
See right here.
Oh,
over the
yeah.
net, over the net.
Just that last push there, I actually think it was Sean Ryan who does a really good job. Oh, great run there. Let's see if they go to him again. Right back to King. Kept alive? No. 2 good swings there by Alex King. First you don't succeed, try again.
That's it. Just like they did in the first set, both teams trying to establish that middle, try and open up things on the outside. They had 2 up on that as well.
Mm-hmm. Just a little too far outside there for Sean Ryan. Now here's Ket Rosinski, dug by Devil Bliss. Right side now, that's dug by Schick. Barrich, libero will put it up, and not a great set there, and Ket Rosinski just going to put it over. Now in the middle of the Tali, one-hand dig by Ket Rosinski. Now Webster's going to get back on the outside. Can Ryerson keep it alive? Doesn't look like it, as They got 2 touches, but the third was way back by the banners, and they can't keep that one going. And, you know, we talked a little bit about the Ohio State roster, and going on to the Ohio State website this morning, you see that there's an announcement, Haynes to train with U.S. national team for Go Collegiate season. So AVCA honorable, or AVCA All-Star, or All-American, AVCA All-American honorable mention, Jake Haynes, the top scorer for the Ohio State Buckeyes last year, will not play for the Buckeyes this year and will be training with the national team in Anaheim. That's quite a bit of volume that Ohio State is going to have to find, you know, put elsewhere. This is where you need a little bit of Moneyball to figure it out.
Where those 740 kills will come from.
Ooh, that's a lot. Ket Rosinski just so high. And, you know, Ket Rosinski, I mean, the Ket Rosinskis, they are a volleyball family. Their father, Alex, played for the 1984 Canadian Olympic team, which is still the best finish ever for Team Canada, with a 4th at the LA Olympics. And, you know, I met the Ket Rosinskis back when they were 13, 14 years old, and they just come spend all day on the beach with us when we were coaching beach camps, and they just love to play. And that's why you see Xander with such a natural contact of the ball, and he contacts that ball so well, so cleanly, and he's able to carve it either way, as we see him go off the hands and out of bounds there. Not Ohio State protesting that call a little bit. It was very, very fast, so no Hawkeye here. No Hawkeye here. It's hard to see. Oh, Alex King, the middle with the spin serve there. Devil Bliss is going to dump that one over and turns nothing to something, wiping that one off the block. Ohio State continues with the lead.
He's had a couple wipes off of Ket Rosinski there on the outside. Yeah, not sure if Xander seems to be dropping his head and isn't quite seeing the ball. We'll check next time if we get a close up on the net cam.
Ooh, no wiping there for Xander, as he is in full windmill mode, swinging away. Xander spent time, or not spent time, was a big part of the Canadian junior national team this summer. A few other guys here at this tournament. Of course, we mentioned Brody Hofer and Matthias Elser on Trinity Western, also part of that roster.
He's also OUA and U-Sport Rookie of the Year.
He was, yes. And the OUA Player of the Year.
For the East Division.
Yes. And Omari Young goes off the block and out of bounds. Very good job. That's one thing I've always been impressed by Saad Sheikh, is that in transition, he's able to keep a very level head and find something creative and find a way. Instead of just setting that high ball to the outside, he managed to work in an offense even in transition, even in those scramble plays. Tolly's just going to chip that one over. Outside now to Hannon. He'll tip it into the block, recycle it. Now C-ball. Ket Rosinski. That one's way out of bounds. Oh, and they're calling it a touch.
Oh, I
didn't see that, but there's no protest this time from Ohio State side. So, you know, if they're not protesting it,
what do we know?
What do we know? As Ryerson's going to take a 2-point lead here, forcing the Buckeyes to call a timeout.
Ryerson has had some kind of all-world right sides over the years in their program since they've come into the OUA.
Rob Wojcik.
Yep.
Is currently playing for Maaseik in Belgium. Before that, Ryan Vandenberg, who competed at the 2017 World Championships.
That's it would have been 17.
Yeah, 2017 Beach Volleyball World Championships with Aaron Nussbaum.
Yep.
6'10" lefty.
He also played professional in Denmark for a year. The team I played for, he played the year before on.
That would have been fun to have you and Snake on the same team. or would have been a little volatile?
He played the year before. I had 2 other Canadians with me. But yeah, it would have been neat. I've never played on the same full-on team, competitive team as Ryan. He's a good friend of mine now.
Who's on that roster with you?
From Canada, we had Scott Townsend.
Okay, yeah.
And we also had Matt Laborde from Canada.
Matthew Laborde. Ooh.
Another 6'10" outside hitter.
Swinging away there was Ohio State well after the whistle.
And this one's an interesting one. So in collegiate volleyball, you're allowed to go under the net as long as it's not your foot that goes under the net, and you don't obstruct anyone on the other side of the net. This one, I'm not too sure that this really obstructed anybody, as his body kind of slid underneath the net.
Yeah, and it looked to me as though his feet did stay on their own side. No, it seems like setter there, Luke Lenton, was satisfied, I guess, with Coffey's explanation there of why that call was made, and now we've got 11-8. And maybe that's the volleyball gods giving us what actually happened there.
See the Ohio State bench pretty happy about that. I feel a few of these calls haven't gone their way.
Devil Bliss now back to serve, and Ohio State, no strangers to playing in Canada. Back in their 2 national championship years, they came up to play McMaster at the Burridge. And those, I remember, though, the first year that they did it over New Year's. And I was doing the commentary up at the box in McMaster, and I was sweating because you could not find an empty centimeter in that gym to fit someone in. As an ace there by Joel Hannon, and it was hot. It was hot in that gym, packing in as many bodies as possible, and both those matches were so entertaining between the Marauders and the Buckeyes.
Created, I believe, a Nike challenge, as both teams are Nike teams.
There's 2 Nike teams as well here with Ohio State and Ryerson. Ryerson, another one of the Nike teams. And U Sport is now Nike affiliated, are they not?
I believe you're right.
Yeah. Clark now back to serve, 13-10 in favor of the Rams. Barrich is going to scoop that one up, and Schick is just going to dump that one down. No one was home for Ohio State.
I hope we get to see another look at that one. You'll see just how long it looks like he's about to set the ball, and just holds. You'll see here, he's going to set the ball, and then he dumps over. Both hands go to the ball and sets over with 2 hands.
Everyone's focus was on Young, who was coming in there, and Tolley, doesn't matter who's focusing on him, he's still able to score. And Tolley's he's long. He is very long, and he does a great job there. Off the net, he's contacting that ball high, and he's trying to hit long. He's not trying to bury it.
When you try and bury it, you come down, and that's when a late middle blocker is able to shoot those hands late and just get a touch. Turns into a free ball.
Now here's Schick once again. Now Lalmond with the big swing there across court, and he's a heavy swinger out of Belgium. And the Red Dragons have been known to develop a pretty good player too.
Yeah.
Sam Deroux, who's currently playing for Dynamo Moscow, teaming up with Steven Marr out there in Russia. Played professionally, is basically the leader of that Belgian program.
All right, we'll do this technical timeout is brought to you by First Point Volleyball Foundation, proudly growing boys and men's volleyball wherever they see a need.
As I said before, I think we need to talk to Mr. Spraw and get to see if we can get some money for that Ottawa U program. It really is such a shame that coming from Ottawa and growing up in that volleyball community, it's such a shame that there is no varsity team there. There is the 2 collegiate the CCAA programs, and if you're watching from the States, we do it a little bit differently up in Canada. University League is like Division I, whereas the College League, the CCAA, is more so like Division III. And so yeah, Ottawa, which has the Ottawa Mavericks, is definitely one of a very, very strong program. And even the other club in the city, the Ottawa Fusion, runs some some very, very good stuff. Two solid programs, and yet those players have nowhere to go.
Yeah, nowhere to watch unless they travel. Closest is in Kingston at Queenston at RMC to see collegiate volleyball.
Yeah. Or
heading to
Montreal, the other side, and Ottawa being a bilingual city, the Mavericks especially. If you go to Ottawa, if you're from Ottawa, you know that the French schools really rule Ottawa high school volleyball. The only one that kind of fits in there is Glebe, which is the former coaching spot of Matt Harris. Just OT there by Xander, but great job there by Tolly to keep it going. And he's going to get it back on the tempo set. Devil Bliss swats that back, and Xander falls there, but they keep it going, yeah. Devil Bliss again, and that slowed down. Oh, and Hannon was right there crawling, and he just missed the pancake. I think the pancake is a great play, but I think too many times guys stop moving their feet trying to go for the pancake, and at that point, just get there with your feet, get a knee down, pass that ball.
There were some drills we did that you weren't allowed to dive. Mm-hmm. You had to run under the ball instead of diving, and you actually got to the ball faster when you ran under the ball versus when you dove for the ball. Yeah.
And too often we slow our momentum down trying to time it with that last step, and if you had just taken that last step, you could dive right through there. Mm-hmm. Alex King there, nice high swing back to the one corner.
It was a little bit of a delayed swing. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if you saw the ball got to its apex and actually dropped a little bit. He hit it on the way down.
I think he was waiting for it to come across a little bit just so he can turn it back to one. Great vision there from the first year out of Ottawa. As we have Lenton now back to serve for the Buckeyes.
Shot of Coach Matt Harris.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
And he just hits the ball. Like it sounds different.
Yes.
It's a big thump.
It is a world-class shot.
Yeah.
It is high and hard.
Yep, and Xander, after, last year was his freshman season, as we mentioned, OUA East Player of the Year, U Sports Rookie of the Year, and I know for a fact that Xander could be playing in Europe right now, and he chose to stay back and spend another year at Ryerson. And from what we've seen this from this showcase, you can see exactly why European teams would want a player of his caliber.
And I wonder where long-term what his position could be, especially with our national team, and as he continues his volleyball career. Where is the spot for him? Is it on the right? Is it on the left?
There's not a lot of room on the right side right now for Canada. There's a guy by the name of Shawan Vernon Evans who's only a year or two older than Xander. And then also got there Ryan Sclater, who is a different type of right side and fits in very, very, very nicely with the rhythm offense that Canada sometimes employs. As a few errors here puts Ryerson in a spot where they're going to call a timeout, trailing 17-18. But you're right, and we've seen Xander play on the left side, especially in club. Saw it a little bit as well last year too. He can pass, but where does he fit in on that? Within the Canadian system.
Yeah, and even with now Tariq Sandy on the Ryerson squad, he's not actually playing today. He's just warming up a little bit on the baseline during this timeout. It could potentially give them a few different options. They put Tariq on the left side, but could they mix that and match that a little bit as the season goes on? That's obviously more of a coaching decision, and we get to only see it at a showcase.
Well, we did, Tariq did play right side last year for the Alberta Golden Bears. But before that, actually, when he played with the junior national team, it was funny. He was the backup right side to the aforementioned Vernon Evans. And when Shawan got called up to the national team for World League back in 2017, Tariq stepped in and was actually a top 5 scorer at the Junior World Championships on the right side.
That last shot was all world. I'm not sure if there'll be a replay of it, but oh, wow. Off the net and finding that back corner.
And serve there in the net by Joel Hannon. As we have Clark now serving for the Buckeyes. Ryerson Rams lead 19-18, 1-0 here in the first match. Day number 3 of the CanAm Volleyball Holiday Showcase. And Ket Rosinski. And one thing I love so much about Ket Rosinski's approach is that it's almost a middle approach. Is you don't see him running all the way back, and it's just wait. He just waits. Yeah, he just is waiting for the rhythm on that left foot, and it's just the 1-2 explode, and that's hard to do on that C-ball shot.
He's up to 16 kills already.
Wow. We're not even done the second set. That's insanity. That was a very nice swing there. L'Allemand going cross court, blowing it past Jordan Barich. And now we have Kyle Skinner. I called him out earlier in the match, confused him with Clark, but now he's actually in as Alden Hasanogenic also getting into this match for the first time, has that one go through his paws.
Talked about balls going through your paws. Not good in any sport.
No. And if you were here for the LBSU Trinity Western match on the first night, that is actually how the match ended. 14-13, and unfortunately the ball slipped through setter Carlos Rivera's hands, and I felt for him. That one hurt me. Never want to see a match end that way, as Sheik is going to put that one in. 21-20 for Ryerson, and L'Allemand just going outside that ball, putting it underneath the block of Ket Rosinski.
We had a match yesterday that ended with a supposed to be a free ball hit into the antenna.
Right into the antenna, yeah.
Nathan Dilgoodis for McMaster.
I've known Nathan for a number of years, and I still can't pronounce his last name. Outside now, Devil Bliss. Ooh. No touch called on that one. I don't think I saw one.
I didn't see one there.
No, it wasn't. The rotation of the ball didn't change at all. 22-21 is Hasanogenic. Back to serve. With a bit of a dribbler, Devil Bliss picks it up. Right side. And unfortunately, unable to find the court was Robbie Murphy. And will this be a timeout for the Buckeyes? It will, as Ryerson has the 2-point advantage, 23-21. And, you know, if you're the Buckeyes, what is something that they are going to need to focus on to try to get back into this match here?
What really had them come alive yesterday in that fourth set against McMaster was their defense. I was really impressed by Parker Mikish yesterday. He dug about 4 or 5 balls in that fourth set alone, and a libero sometimes can be the quiet, unsung hero. I don't think he is that player. I think he's a raw Rye. Here, you can see him right on camera. Let's go, boys. We can do this. And he can be a game changer from his defensive intensity. And if you can steal a dig or two, I mean, anyone can steal the dig or two on defense, but I think he can be a kind of a difference maker to give them another opportunity.
And I think that's really one of those intangibles that we don't necessarily talk about all the time in the libero position, that you really are that backcourt quarterback. You are the leader, the captain, if you will, behind that 3-meter line. And a lot of it is just how you communicate with your serve receivers, how you communicate with your defenders, how you communicate in free ball transition in situations. And you're right, Mekish does a very, very good job at managing that back line for the Buckeyes. Good pass there by Hasanogenic outside to Hannon. He's going to tip it over. Now to Devil Bliss. Doug. Hannon is just going to... And that one will go into our book of silly errors, as the volley goes right into the tape and falls on the Ryerson side.
It's one of those that you're trying to do a little too much with a free ball. These teams are going to be able to pass a free ball, get almost popping up nice and high so that you can give your team time to reset your defense.
Yep, and Xander Ket Rosinski swings away with that one. And we have set point Ryerson, 24-23 here. We saw Ryerson get a 3-1 win over UCLA yesterday. And now here's a chance for them to go up 2-0 on the Buckeyes. Alex King going to take a little bit off that. Good pass by Devil Bliss. Outside, he's going to get it back. Here's a chance for Ryerson to take this set. Ket Rosinski, he's blocked, and oh my goodness, Alex King not entirely sure if he thought he thought it was out, but was someone calling it out? It just didn't seem like there was much communication there on the Ryerson side of things, as you see Hasnagenic just kind of sitting there beside him expecting you to get it, but the middle's there, you got to talk to him. That's exactly, we just talked about the libero. That's exactly where you missed that libero.
Absolutely.
A, because he's usually the number one guy on that ball, but then B, because even if he's not, he's usually talking and letting you know, hey, that's in, that's out, play it, whatever it is. Rich Van Heusen trying to get the crowd fired up as Xander Ket Rosinski puts that one about a foot long. And we talked a little bit about it on Saturday, and I love the American bench style. I love how they're right there. They're right on the referee, and they're loud and they're proud. It adds a different level to the game as Omari Young. That set just wasn't quite the best of connection.
And I don't know why it wasn't the best of connection. It seemed like he was on time. I don't know if he got underneath it or if it was overset.
I think he simultaneously got a little bit underneath it, and the ball was a little bit high for him. And the advantage is going to switch now. Ohio State 26-25.
The battle continues. Any viewers looking to continue their volleyball careers after graduation get a top-notch graduate degree in the UK while playing volleyball at Northumbria University.
If I had an undergraduate degree, I would think about going there, but I would still need to go do a full undergraduate degree before doing that, and I definitely do not feel like that doing that anymore.
I'll be the opposite. I've got that undergraduate degree. My body just wouldn't allow me to play volleyball anymore.
I think you could still do a pretty good job. You could be
serving sub.
Yeah, serving sub, libero. The low impact positions. Setter maybe.
Setting. I did actually come back after playing with the Jamaican national team and train as a setter with Dave Preston and James Bradley and a few other coaches to give us a chance.
Oh, great hustle play there by Ryerson a few times. And once again, we see Omari Young. We've talked a lot about those staying off the net. And you can see just a little bit of that youth as he's right underneath the Assad Sheikh, unable to really do anything, and eventually allows Ohio State to pick up that point. And we are back now, set number 3 here at the CanAm Volleyball Holiday Showcase, day number 3. We are over the halfway mark. We are match number 7 of 12 between the Ryerson Rams and the Ohio State Buckeyes. My name is Everett DeLorme, joined here by Parrish Offer, former McMaster volleyball star, former Jamaican volleyball star, also played in Denmark, and is now currently the Director of Business Development for where we are right now, the Toronto CanAm Sports Center.
A lot of good things coming together here. We're about to start the third set here. One set apiece for each team.
Ohio State came back late in that one.
A couple of hitting. There was a point where the ball squirted over and landed in the backcourt. I think that really changed a little bit of the momentum and really shifted it back to Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. And we see a setting sub here for the Ryerson Rams coming in as number 4, Trent Ket Rosinski. Younger brother to Xander, and actually twin brother of Cole on UCLA. Finally, Trent has caught up with his brothers because he used to be
the short one.
The short one. But, I mean, Trent, a very accomplished player in his own right, starting setter last year for the national champion Packman Volleyball Club, as well as a multi-time beach national champion as well.
Listed at 6'6" now.
You know what? He gets bigger and bigger, and he's got dirt in hands. And, ooh, that was a little bit of sticky there. But what I mean by dirt in hands, Canadian legend Paul Durden, if you ever shake his hand, it wraps around it.
Yeah, Paul was here yesterday, and I shook his hand, and every time I think, wow, my hands aren't that small.
Yeah, and it was always said that Paul could palm dinner plates. Well, Trent is very much the same, and he's got these massive hands, and for a setter, that's obviously a good thing, is that block is just long. Good swing there by Lanmond, and we've seen him a few times. He's got a heavy shoulder. And it's going to be Robbie Murphy now, back. for the Buckeyes, right at Webster. And oh, Alex King. They're on time, good spacing. And no one was home to stop him. And we see right here, and Sam Clark has just caught. They're pushing over. Of course, they're really overloading onto Xander Ket Rosinski. And great awareness there by Trent Ket Rosinski to spot that and set the middle attack.
Probably a good idea when Xander has 17 kills and the next highest person on the Ryerson squad is at 6, Alex King.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and Xander is one of those players, though, that you may know where he's going to hit, and you may be able to put something in front of him, but can you actually stop him? That's the question, as he picks up a good block there, him and King at the net. I do believe that was Xander who put that one down, though, as we get a look here on the replay. I really like that small, quick communication there to King as he's coming over for the blocking. You know, Xander's not the loudest player. He's not the biggest talker, but little communication, pieces of communication like that are so important, as Lenton is going to be over the line trying to save that one. As Alex King now back to serve for the Rams. Out of bounds there, and you know the Rams they're trying now to live up to the standard set by the women's program at Ryerson. The women's program has been to 2 straight national finals, winning it 2 years ago in 2018 and then losing to UBC last year. And I mean, UBC's best player, Kira Van Rijk, is currently playing in Italy. So, you know, that might give you a pretty good indication of what they were up against, and they lost that 1 in 5. Ryerson's men's team does have an appearance at the national championships in the past few years, back in 2018, I believe, at Ryerson. Or at McMaster, yes.
Yes.
Oh, no, that was 2016.
With 4 teams.
Yeah.
From the OUA.
Yes, yeah. Back in the days of Lucas Coleman. Oh, and Devil Bliss was going for hands there, and
that set just fell a little bit inside, so he tried to make some work with it to go off that outside hand and just missed.
And just like we saw in the other 2 sets, well, or specifically in the first set, Ryerson out here to an 8-3 lead. They did have about a 4-point spread in the last match as well. Unfortunately, they weren't able to pull it out as Ohio State came back late. And Alex King, I've been very impressed by the middle spin serve. Like, that is not a spin serve that you usually see from middle players. Sam Clark now back to serve after that kill. Much better job. I think that ball is still a little bit low from him. We see him have to drop that elbow and T-Rex it over the net a little bit. But that spacing, once again, we talked about spacing and being on time, and he's able to put that ball away. And I love it when teams just go back-to-back middles, you know. Just a slugfest, a heavyweight slugfest. As Omari Young.
Yeah, ball. Get a little bit more space for Trent to be able to get that ball into him there.
Ket Rosinski's serve into the net. A little bit outside of his wheelhouse and unable to put it in with pace, as we see Matt Harris there. Matt Harris was the head coach of the 2017 Team Ontario team that not only won the Canada Games, but also won the USAV High Performance Championships, beating teams from SoCal, NorCal, American Junior National Team on that roster. Oh,
I don't think this is right. He was behind the line.
No, he was behind the line.
He was behind the line.
Yeah,
he's behind the line. We did check the feet. We'll see if we can get a replay here. But the libero cannot pass the ball with his hands and be on the attack line, and his feet were behind the attack line. I think the refs may have missed that one.
Oh, what a dig there by Lenton. Right side now to Ket Rosinski, and I think that one's in the net. It is. In the net, into the antenna, it doesn't really matter. It's point Ohio State, and, you know, it was 8-3 just a little bit ago, and now it's 9-7 in favor of the Rams. So the Rams squad is quite youthful. Ooh, as that ball goes off of Webster and down. Webster's a first year. Hannon's a second year. Ket Rosinski's a second year. Trent's a second year. You know, I don't think you've got an upperclassman on the court right now.
And that's part of the reason for this tournament, getting everybody some touches and getting everybody a chance to play.
Absolutely.
Let's dive here. So let's see. Feet. Oh, he was right. My mistake. A toe did hit the line. My mistake.
Joe Coffey.
Thanks, Replay Center. That was wonderful. You were right.
Joe Coffey making the right call. And I've been reffed in a few Madawaska coaches' games by Mr. Coffey, and let's say if he's been known to make a controversial call or two. Then again, he is probably one of the nicest refs we have. He actually flew in from Calgary to referee at this event. He's originally from Toronto, wanted to visit his family, but every year to go to Madawaska Volleyball Camp, he drives from Calgary.
Wow.
His salary essentially goes to the gas that it will cost him, and he is very beloved at the legendary Canadian volleyball camp. As Hannon goes off the hands there, and net violation on Ohio State. And that's just another one. You know, if we had that old net rule, that wouldn't have done anything. You know, it didn't impact the game. It didn't. No one was in danger, and I just wish we would let the boys play a little bit more. Oh, the dribbler, nicely kept alive by Lenton.
Let him play.
Let him play. Let him play. And Ket Rosinski, hey, I love that. When you're a front row setter, like that was one of my favorite things to do. Is let's wait at the net, make sure you watch that ball, and you know, oftentimes you see setters as soon as you're in that free ball situation, just set up, look at their defense, which is good too. But hey, maybe keep an eye on the ball, because if it's in your area, you don't even need to run an offense. You can do it yourself. Wow, what a shot there by Xander Ket Rosinski on the C ball, painting the sideline. That's a world-class shot right there.
That is.
Doesn't matter if you're here at the CanAm Volleyball Holiday Showcase or playing it at Champions League in Europe. That's going to score. That ball is not going to score. And
sails a little long.
Yeah, and we are going to see an Ohio State timeout, as they did so well to close that gap with Ryerson. And Ryerson, after a few errors by the Buckeyes, 13-8, leading here in this third set. Third set. We're seeing 18 kills right now for Ket Rosinski.
About 8 for Alex King, 6 for Murray Young. So they're really the next two highest scorers after Xander Ket Rosinski are the two middle attackers.
Mm-hmm. On the left side right now for Ryerson, you know, you've got a first year in Webster and a second year in Joel Hannon. And, you know, both of those guys, it seems to me, are just in there for, you know, some serve receive, some defense. They're definitely playing their roles. But I mean, if you're watching this Ryerson Rams team, you know who the star is. You know where that ball is going. You know, it's like watching Terrell back at the beginning of the decade playing for Humber.
Especially with Tariq not playing, right?
Yeah.
To take a little bit of the offensive load. It's a great block. Funnels it right into 6.
Oh,
this
good
one's
pick
got
up by Barrich. Nope. Oh, what a great pipe attack there by Martin Nanmond. And Lenton with a great set. That might be one of the best pipes we've seen so far in this tournament.
Yeah, and since the teams have really established that middle, it might be a set that can be really effective for both sides.
Mm-hmm. Young and Webster going up with the setter there, or with the middle there. You've got a front row setter, so Young should be focusing on that middle attack, that ball, letting the left side, but the gap was opened up, and a rare error there by Ket Rosinski as he puts that one wide. Devil Bliss now just barely catches the net, and Webster, ooh, that ball's way behind him. And Lenton now outside to Devil Bliss off the block and out of bounds. And just like that, 13-11. It's been this cat and mouse game here in this third set, with Ryerson going ahead and Ohio State playing catch-up. I mean, that's actually been most of this match so far. Fans are still slowly trickling in. If you want, you can still come and join us here at the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center. Tickets still available both for today and tomorrow. Do note, though, that tomorrow's matches are shifted a little bit earlier. We start at 11:30, 11:32, and 4:30, just so everyone can enjoy their New Year's a little bit more.
Wishing everyone a happy New Year's, a happy holiday, safe, and if you're looking for, if you've got the kids at home and they're not in school and it's been a little too long with them and you need to get out of the house, it's a good place to come.
Yeah, Robbie Murphy, that's a really tough set. That ball's coming from behind his right shoulder, and he's on the right side. So he has to try to, without looking at that court, swing it in that three-man block there by Ryerson. Held strong as Omar Young serves that ball. Ooh, and he's going to get the ace. I think that one was going to go long. I think if Lallemande had left it, that one would have continued floating. And I think that to me is the difference between the ball, right? Is if you are in the States and you're playing with the Molten and you have a float server like Young is, that ball is going to drop with being the Molten. But with the Mikasa, it's going to float longer, and it's going to float long. Yeah.
You're seeing here in this third set runs back and forth. You'll see Ryerson go on a 3 or 4 point run, and then you'll see Ohio State go on a 3-4 point run. And to me, it's not necessarily that each team is earning the points. It seems to be a few more errors here than the other team. And I don't know if that's fatigue, 3 matches in 3 days, or just we've got different lineups on right now that are still just working things through.
Different lineups early in the season. It's the holidays for Ohio State, or for both these teams actually. It's their 3rd match in 3 days, so that's never the easiest to do. Even though in the Nations League we ask our best of the world to do that week in, week out for 6 weeks straight. We won't start a conversation about. There's definitely no load management in international volleyball. Something like. The best players in the world played something like 40-some international matches in 2019. We saw the FIVB release that they're going to be changing up the competition schedule a little bit more. But to me, I almost think we need to be getting the conversation is the Nations League actually necessary? Is there any other team sport that holds an annual tournament like that? For countries. Oh, as the block there. Ooh, just out of bounds. Good block there by Ryerson as that one's going to go off the hands of Trent Ket Rosinski. But, we see NBA players foregoing the World Cup, let alone, an annual tournament like the Nations League. Outside there, Lallemande. He's got a heavy swing, so if that's in bounds, not many people are going to dig it, but out to the side, 17-12 here for Ryerson. And I'd really like to see one of these teams just establish a little bit of consistency here.
It's a lot of errors right now, and hopefully we can get a little bit more rhythm back to the game after this one. And
after that missed serve. Now it's Robbie Murphy.
And really, it's about weathering this, right? This isn't no one's trying to make errors.
No.
You're trying to score points. But it's about getting that mental focus back so that your body can do what you've trained it to do.
18-13, and I believe we were at this very same point in the last set with Ryerson leading, and Ohio State managed to come back. So anything's possible here. Oh, and that's a tough one there as just...
Oh. They're saying that the middle attacker touched it.
I thought he did.
Really?
I thought he did when he came through. Maybe we'll see it here on the replay.
We'll see it later.
Tight set there. And no mistake about it that time by Sam Clark. Off the block and out of bounds. And for those keeping score, the score is currently 4-2 in favor of Canada. Yesterday, we mentioned Ryerson took down UCLA. This Ohio State team took down McMaster, and then the last one, Trinity Western, really took the beating to UCLA.
That was what we billed as kind of the heavyweight match and the big match, and Trinity Western really brought their A game and played a near perfect match.
To beat Trinity Western, you really need to serve heavy and not miss any serves either. A la UBC 2017. Oh,
this is a wild point.
This is as Ohio State bench not happy with some of the non-calls as Ket Rosinski. And you know what? Kevin Birch can be complaining, but earlier on that point, I believe it's Robbie Murphy definitely passed the center line when he tried to save that ball. His feet were over, and
there was a player right directly there.
Yeah, yeah. And the down referee saw it, decided not to call it, and so it's a little bit of half and half.
Spectators can have a lot of influence on the outcome of the game, so if you're cheering on those Ryerson Rams.
See it here. Here's what the was too happy about.
Honestly, to me, it seemed like
it looked much better on replay.
Yeah, like Barrich just kind of stabbed at it.
Yep.
I think he was just trying to pop it up for Hannon.
Yep.
And he missed it, and it like hit off his knuckle and went backwards over the net.
Yep.
Oh.
Canadians. Well, there are some Canadians that showed up to this match.
I think we've got everything sorted out now.
I think so too. Yeah, because that ball, he only went with one hand, so it couldn't be a double.
And he wasn't over the height of the net.
And
the libero can't play the ball over the height of the net in front of the attack line, or at any point.
And it wasn't a lift because he just jabbed at it. So I think that was actually the right call by the referee. It didn't look pretty.
Yeah, it looked much worse in real time.
Yeah, absolutely is. Much like they've been doing all this match, answer down the middle from the Buckeyes. And actually, we have a substitution in is number 12, Jamie Wolmering, in place of Tolley. Ooh, and the ace there for Joel Hannon. Or on Joel Hannon, sorry. By Sam Clark.
Really trying to hide him. He's not taking much court there.
Jordan Barrich taking quite a bit of that one, but that one's going to be with Webster. And now here's Hannon, cross-court swing dug by the Buckeyes. Lenton's just going to give it outside. Devil Bliss, he swings away. Oh, and Webster was there. Just couldn't quite make the dig as Devil Bliss hits a heavy ball.
I'd like to see Joel Hannon be a little bit more fluid in his approach. It looks like he's deaccelerating as he gets into that approach there, and so he's losing all of his power.
Mm-hmm. And that's where you're seeing, it's only his second year of indoor volleyball. And oh my goodness, Xander Ket Rosinski. And, we'll go back to Joel Hannon in a second, but I love the fact that Xander has that ability he can cut it cross court, but he can also be patient and see he waits that split second. He had the ability to come to it early, hit it cross, but instead he waits for it to roll over to his right shoulder and goes right down the line. As great pass there by Meadle. Yeah. Good swing by Devil Bliss.
A lot of the scouting for the teams, they'll include shot charts, right? You want to know where their tendencies are on shot charts. I imagine that Ket Rosinski's shot chart is pretty wide.
Yeah, it was like charting against Danny Demyanenko in club. You do video, and it's just like, oh, look, here's a rainbow of where he hits everywhere. Do they only run him in system? No, Coker will chuck it up to him from the baseline if he needs to.
And this is, this is a little bit similar to that third set where a few errors are squeaking in here.
21-19 now.
A close set.
Lenton now serving, so you've got three attackers in the front row for the Buckeyes. Now right side to Ket Rosinski, and 2 errors in a row. And this is where you're really missing an outlet pass to the left side, right? Hannon hasn't been able to get the job done. The serve receive isn't happening for the Rams, so you can't set Omari Young, and Webster hasn't really been a threat out of the pipe, so you have to give it to Ket Rosinski, and everyone in the gym knows where it's going.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, so the momentum is clearly shifting over to Ohio State. But I don't know about you, but I want to see the Rams win this game.
I'd like to take a moment to thank one of our other sponsors, Beaches Brewery, providing refreshments here at the Toronto CanAm Sports Centre and for the CanAm Holiday Showcase. Beaches Brewery, located now on Queen Street in downtown Toronto, just opened up their first brewery location downtown.
Fantastic. I got a little taste last night. I didn't have to commentate the match, so I got to enjoy.
And how was your pale ale?
It was good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I mean, I paired it with pizza, so I might need a better pairing next time.
That's right. We got a full menu, so you can always go down there and pair.
Do they have vegan options?
I would follow them on Instagram and ask that question.
And figure that out. All right. Yeah, this is Toronto. There's a lot of vegans around. You got to keep everyone happy here. Right side set kept alive by Webster. Ket Rosinski is going to give it to Ket Rosinski, and that's dug by L'Allemand. Chasing it down is Lenton.
Oh, boy.
And, Joust at the net. Young kept alive. Outside, Devil Bliss blocked. Great rally here. Devil Bliss again, tipped it over, and that's out of bounds, and he shrugs his shoulders in a little bit of shame as that he knows that's a miss point.
That's a great rally.
Great rally.
And you can see with so much of the attention going mids and going to the right side, you can actually see the block of Ohio State shifting. So the middle blocker's taking more of that shot to 5 and still being able to release to the right side.
Robbie Murphy looking for the touch there, none given. I don't think there was a touch at all as that one was blasted out of bounds. And now we have 23-20. But once again, we saw this exact score in the last set, and Ryerson wasn't able to close it out. And so Kevin Birch calling that timeout. And, Kevin Birch has won 7 different national championships in the past decade. Whether if it's Division III or working on the women's side or working with his Ohio State team, he is a winner.
That's a trophy case.
Yes,
or medal case or whatever we get in volleyball.
And he's done so many different roles. That's why I think I'm very excited to see what comes of this next chapter of Ohio State volleyball. And usually you see that where the legendary coach retires and there's not really much to step in for him. Right, and I think Ohio State did a great job of having Birch mentored by Pete Hansen for a few years, and now it's really time for him to take that team over.
Yeah, very similar to Alberta a little bit, with Brock Davidoff being mentored by the great Terry Daniluk and working with the program, so it's not just a fresh start coming in.
But I mean, Terry still hasn't left that program. He's still hanging around quite a bit. Oh. Tough stab there by Joel Hannon, goes off the fist and down. I think Daniluk, he just loves being a volleyball fan, And you see him, he's taking little clips and he's posting them, and he just loves being around the game. Of course, one of our legends here in Canada was inducted into the Canadian Volleyball Hall of Fame earlier this summer, along with the rest of the 1984 Olympic squad. And the tip over the block, and now we've got 23-22.
I got to speak to Terry before the match a little bit, and this is actually the first time he's traveled with Alberta. Any of the away matches he hasn't gone to at all this year. So,
wow. I think I know he was here in the Toronto area this summer.
He was, and came to some of the One Volleyball events as well, or one of the matches that was actually here.
No. And L'Allemand is shut down there by Trent Ket Rosinski, and I love that moment right there. Trent gets the big block, and no one is more excited for him than his older brother, Xander.
Ball gets a little bit tight here, and you can see just on that set there, he was facing the sideline and twisted, right? Instead of squaring and getting to where he wanted to set the ball, just technically, he did it again there, but got away with it. Getting that body right in position, because you don't know how far to twist and where to push your hands.
Better swing there from L'Allemand, and he goes long as high off the hands of Alex King, out of bounds. We still have set point here. Ryerson 24-23 at Webster. That's going to be off the net, and C-ball for Ket Rosinski, and I feel like Trent made a bit of an extra effort to make sure that ball was in front of the attack line, giving his brother space, and that's where Xander is really feeling a great shot there of Xander, dapping up all of his teammates as they come around, as he shares a laugh with his brother. And
we'll see it again here. You can see the lead. A couple of those balls that were errors, they would have landed right on the attack line, and this one really pushed it.
And we are back now, set number 4 here from match number 7 of the CanAm Volleyball Holiday Showcase at the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center. Everett Dorn, blah, 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 blah. Forgetting, I'm messing up my own name. Better my name than your name, though.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Everett Delorme here with Parrish Hoffer. And Ryerson has a 2-1 lead over the Ohio State Buckeyes. And now we see Andrew Hillman on the right side, as Lenton will still be setting, and Hillman, I mean, we saw him being aggressive on Saturday night. We saw that. What did he have?
Yeah.
Like 8
8
kills?
kills, yep.
And he's got an arm on him, so why not? There hasn't been much volume to the right side of the court so far this afternoon for the Buckeyes, with Robbie Murphy taking a spot on the bench.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
He's got a live arm.
It's also going to allow Ohio State to really spread apart that offense, so I'm interested to see how Ryerson's blockers are going to answer to it.
Oh, wow. That's a great set.
Oh, and Hillman gets on the board early with a block. And that was actually a really good hit there by Martin Almond out of the back row. Yeah,
it's a tough hit.
Tough hit, high ball to the middle of the court. It's almost like Mikesh was trying to get it to the C ball and didn't get it there, and Almond swung away. And those are sometimes just the hardest, just to get in bounds with pace, and he did a good job at it. Inside now to Ket Rosinski. We talked about that. There's that ball, but it's behind him. And the Ohio State Buckeyes capitalize.
Seen Tally back, and he does just a great job of keeping that ball in front of him. Jumps off. Yeah, for the kids watching, you can see he actually jumps halfway between the center line and the attack line and floats into that ball.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, for me, watching Omar Young, I've noticed how many steps he takes before he actually approaches. And all of these little steps get him closer and closer, and then by the time he's actually finishing with his last 2 feet, he's already at that point where Tolly's jumping from. Mm-hmm. So it's so worthwhile. We talked about Xander Ket Rosinski hitting only those 2 steps, is just to wait on that left foot, or right foot if you're a lefty, and just be patient and explode out of it. And that's something for me when I'm coaching middles. That's a big focus of mine, is those last 2 steps just need to be explosive. And if you're trying to, gain momentum with your other ones, you're going to put yourself out of position.
It also helps being 6'9".
Yeah, no, that works too. That's something that I did never have.
You can't really teach that.
No, you can't. So Webster's going to go off the block here in the pipe, and that's pushed down by Alex King.
It's a really tough set as you come across, and you're actually in position 3, and you're going to set. Watch, he's going to set the pipe. Sorry, it wasn't quite as tough. I thought it was right off his left shoulder, but it was a little bit in front of him.
Ooh, Young with the dribbler. Picked up by Ohio State. Devil Bliss on the outside.
Goes through the hands and off the head.
goes right back to the middle there. And if you're an outside hitter and you know when that middle's in the back court, sometimes it's good just like that ball. If you have a libero there, it's probably going to get dug. Not too much pace, but going at the middle, you're probably going to be rewarded, as Hillman's going to get his first crack of the game here. Good serve, and that set is going to be tight. Can Webster save it? Apparently they can. And now King swings away.
I'd really like to see if Trent Ket Rosinski can establish middle back again here, take a little bit of pressure off of his brother Xander, and then as the match gets tight down the stretch when they need to score, then be able to go back to him. But just that half a step of the middle that needs to stay just a second longer to stay with these middles.
That's 2 missed serves in a row there by Trent Ket Rosinski, and when he gets a handle of it, it's a good one. Reese Devil Bliss now serving for the Buckeyes, and he has not come off the court at all throughout this tournament, as Alex King is getting some volume here early in this 4th set. So Ryerson leads 5-4.
It'll pay dividends throughout the end of this set if they can establish that middle again. And let's just see what Tally's doing here. A little bit of a late read. Still in read, of course, because there's so much pressure going to the right side.
Webster goes at Almond. He's going to get it right back, and he's shut down by Xander Ket Rosinski. And that was like the opposite of the Decumbo, the finger wag. He put the thumbs down, I guess showing where that ball went. Just such a good block there, good press.
Almost a solo block.
Yeah. King, oh, that one's long. Oh, sorry, that's Webster, not King. I'm just mixing up the Maverick boys here. Tolly now back to serve for the Buckeyes. Looks like the sun is out now outside. Barrich with the nice pass. And oh, I think that one was all tape.
I think he wanted that one to be sharp cross.
Yeah, he did. That was a rhythm set, but a bit of a 62, maybe a 72. The block was there, but I think the angle that he was taking was good away from the block. He just cut it too deep, or too short. 7-6 now for Ryerson as that serve by Tolley is into the net. King now serving. It's again middle with the spin serve, and I think that's the first one he's missed this afternoon. I kind of have a feeling that this one is going 5.
Well, we'll see. When Ryerson puts away the balls that they should in system and don't make the error, they're in very good shape. My expectation isn't that you're going to score on every, high ball in transition kind of, but on the ones where you pass well and you run an offense, you need to score on and specifically not make the error. If they can continue to do that because they're passing well enough and they're giving themselves defensive opportunities, they should have no problems in this set.
Yeah, Young was stopped there in the middle, and Ohio State goes right back to Clark. Ooh, on the middle, and that one was just long. Good call there by Maxine Lautan on the baseline there. Here's Ket Rosinski. He's not wasting any time. He tossed that one up as soon as that whistle went, and that one is into the net. I'd like to see him just take a second. Just take a breath.
No rush.
You've got 8 seconds. I feel like if you're a serve receiver, there's nothing worse than waiting for the serve. Hannon with the hands there. And now Ket Rosinski on the C ball, and that's going to be touched on the way out. 9-9. We're all tied up here in the 4th set.
That's only 23 kills for...
Yeah, just. That's not that impressive. Hannon, ooh, and Ryerson serving has definitely been their Achilles heel, I guess you can say, a little bit this afternoon.
Willimon for Ohio State has 12 kills.
Really? Ooh, another one into the net. And now we have the Toronto native, Amari Young, serving. That one at least gets over the net, so we've got a rally here. Now Devil Bliss is shut down, but we keep him going. That one's going to be tight. Can Devil Bliss save it? No. Put it back on his own side of the net.
It's a wonder what happens when you make the other team play a little bit of volleyball. You can steal a point or two.
It's for younger players, just keep the ball alive. You'll be rewarded. Good serve there by Omari Young. And Devil Bliss is shut down once again. Ohio State keeps it alive, and Lalmond out of the back row, and it's going to be a net violation, but that one also fell as Lalmond took a cut off of that one. Trent Ket Rosinski was up in the block, and Xander Ket Rosinski was not ready for that defense.
They've been able to neutralize Devil Bliss a little bit here tonight or today. Maybe not a lot of blocks for points, but a lot of touches, a lot of slowdowns and recycles.
Mm-hmm.
He does have 7 points, but it's been a long afternoon for him.
Yeah, he's had a lot of swings, And Trent with the serve. And there's Hillman with his first kill of the match out of the C ball. And he's got such a fast arm, and he's got such a crack of a contact. And it's fun to watch.
It's got to be fun for the setter.
Oh, yeah. Setters always love setting other setters.
Mm-hmm.
Lalmond is slowed down here, and he's going to get it back again. Ket Rosinski will pick that one up. Barich will give it to Webster on the right. He'll roll that over, dug by Mikish. Now here's the pipe to Hillman. That's just chipped over. And chance here in transition. Tipped over by King, kept alive with the pokey. And a little bit of scramble volleyball here. Ket Rosinski with the swing. Oh, what a swing there by Xander Ket Rosinski. Once again, just a world-class shot.
Everyone was on the floor, and the one guy you probably want not to be on the floor was the guy who was able to put it away.
See here, and he doesn't, like, there's no momentum.
Approach.
We see that hesitation, 2 steps, and he swings nice and long. Webster just has that one clip over the net. Hillman and Tolley's going to break that one through. And that's just a product of swinging high and hard. Last time I checked, it was much harder to swing through fingertips than it is through the palms of their hands. So that's exactly, just goes off the top of the hands of King.
It's a great touch, though. As they train that, Xander might be able to come underneath and be able to pick that dig up.
Oh, once again, that tempo set, and they're really trying to work it there with Xander. Just trying to different tempos, coming in, have him come in at different speeds and at different parts along the net. And I mean, when you're getting that much volume, you really need to try some things new. But hey, he made do with it, tipped it over, got the point. King has that one clip, and that one's going to be over. Joel Hannon is going to throw it over now for the Buckeyes, and that one's going to fall down.
That's one of those ones where, yes, it's an overpass, but you might do a better job to bring that back, get your offense going. You effectively gave him a free ball by passing that over and trying to block it straight down because he couldn't get a good swing on it.
No, absolutely. Unless you're going to try to, like, all the Ohio State players were cupped in around the attack line. If he was going to be able to push that one deep.
Yep.
But unfortunately, as you said, that one was just a free ball, and they almost pretty much got a swinging system there, as now Ohio State takes the lead here in the 4th set, 15-14. And we've seen them have to play from behind quite a bit throughout this match, but right now they have a lead of their own. And Xander Ket Rosinski once again just going over top on that one. And he's so textbook every single time. His approach, his swing, everything. It's just so perfect every single time. You know, he might actually be an argument for specialization. Much to the dismay of pretty much every sport person listening to this. Good dig
block. Ooh.
Now here's Hannon, chip off the net. Easy pass there by Devil Bliss. And Lalmond, he's got such a live arm, able to put that one off the elbow of Omari Young and down. And that will be Ohio State advantage heading into the technical timeout, leading 16-15 here at the 2019 CanAm Volleyball Holiday Showcase.
Tune into our Instagram and YouTube channels at the end of each night to catch the Gignac plays of the day. Make the best plays both on the court and with your homes.
Fantastic. And also you can check out the Gignac plays of the day on Instagram and YouTube. Head over, it's CanAm Volleyball on YouTube. We see there Kevin Birch stoking the fire a little bit of his troops. Coming back now from this technical timeout. The Buckeyes trail 2-1 in sets, but lead here 16-15. And, you know, this has been the point after that technical has been where these sets have been getting interesting.
Absolutely. Didn't matter who had the lead going before the technical. It's all been after, and really after 20 is where the fun really started.
So let's see who is going to come back strong here in this 4th set. Can Ryerson rally and take this match, or are we going to be going to a 5th? Ooh, as Trent Ket Rosinski there puts that overpass, or puts that ball right into the net. Malmon now serving for the Buckeyes. 2-point spread right now. And that swing there by Hannon is wide. And Xander Ket Rosinski just comes up to him and is like, hey, keep swinging. Keep being aggressive. You know, and Hannon coming from the beach, not much indoor experience, has been known to just kind of, you know, chip that ball over and not really be aggressive on it. So good job there by Xander Ket Rosinski to be a leader on this team and, you know, encourage him. Hey, be aggressive. Swing away at it.
Yeah, and you can learn from that shot. So that one's not going to quite work today.
Yeah.
But you can take that back to practice as I go and look at the video, look at the tape. You're going to look at your kills, but you're also going to look at your errors. And you're going to say, what were you trying to do on this shot?
Yeah.
And if you were just trying to hit it over, then that might be an issue. But if you were trying to make a shot and you saw something on a hand or saw a weak hand as you were going up, you can learn from that.
Oh, man. I wish we had a camera up here just so we could get a shot of Ellie Shermer's pants right now, one of the organizers of this event. They are something else right now. They are black and white tie-dye. I would call those pajamas, but other people will call that style. Zanman's going to get us kicked off after that Ryerson timeout. They trail here by 3. Right side now to Ket Rosinski, and a bit of a ping-pong block there by Ohio State. Now Hannon. And takes a little bit off of it, goes thumb down, and you know, I'm sure Xander would have wanted to see him be a little bit more aggressive there, but the point still scores there by Hannon. And Xander,
I don't know how that scored.
No, it was just a bit of a dribbler.
Yeah.
Hannon will be trying out to represent Canada at the Fishu Games with Zaid Hamadeh. Not next weekend, but the weekend afterwards. Just up north and at the Downsview Center.
Great block.
Oh, and a tough one there by Xander. And if I do have one critique of Xander's game, it's definitely going to be his backcourt footwork. Is how he moves his feet on those defensive plays. I've seen, you know, about 3 or 4 balls now that he could have got to, and we see there that first step isn't definitive. He's not traveling with the ball. He's still trying to figure out where it's going. Omari Young putting that one through. Still like to see him a little bit more on time there, but.
And he might. It looks like they're the block here. Telly is getting up nice and early. He's committing right there, and they might be able to push him just a little bit. That 40, kind of get him away from and not going right at that middle blocker.
Yeah.
And Omari would be good at that because of that kind of late hitch in his swing.
They also just create just a little bit more separation for Ket Rosinski on the right side there. As we have now Hillman back to serve. He's a setter on the roster, but he's playing right side now, right now. And that's because he can crack the ball. As we see him go for it on that one, it's just going to be free ball situation sent over by Ryerson. Mikic will handle that one. To the pipe to Lalman. Baric will pick that one up. Oh, but it's over. Ryerson gets it back, though. And Ket Rosinski down the line. And on the flip side, one thing that really impresses me about Xander Ket Rosinski is his offensive footwork. It all starts from the ground up, and we'll see just those 2 steps. It's so powerful, and he transitioned his energy through his body so well.
I wish we got to see the block on that back row pipe because a little foot violation there. Because the pipe has been few and far between for both of these teams, and for the Ryerson block to stay that disciplined, not commit with Telly, who's been pretty effective, and stay down and then shoot those hands to have all 3 up was pretty impressive.
Absolutely. We're going to have Ryerson's second time out here as they trail 21-18. Although we've seen Ohio State come back from this the past few sets, so we'll see if Ryerson can do the same. But Ohio State has been playing very, very solid so far, and I think, you know, he hasn't really had many, but I think the influence of Hillman has really made a difference. He's a senior, you know, he's a leader on that court, but it also, you know, everyone knows he can crack the ball, so it creates a little bit of more respect there and creating just a little bit of a spread for Ohio State's offense.
The team's calm.
Yes.
Calm.
Yes.
Everyone seems to know their role, and that's just leadership.
Yeah. It's crazy how sometimes that calming factor can just step on the court. He doesn't necessarily need to do anything, you know, overly helpful, but just needs to be there, and especially for those in-between situations.
He has 1 kill, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's the offensive load.
No.
He just by being on the court creates kind of a calming effect. Looks like we got a little bit of blood or something.
That's another rule I don't like. Like, yeah, if there's a little bit of blood, it's fine.
I'm good with people not playing with blood. There's yeah.
I mean, it's on his leg.
Gets on the ball. Yeah.
That's why we got ball people with towels, right? Good cheer there for Lenton as he rejoins his squad. That Ohio State physio, she just came out of nowhere.
Player of the match.
Out of the sea of red and black, and just like we're seeing what we saw on the Ryerson side and the other side, you know, they have that 3-point lead and a little bit of an error there. And now Webster is going to continue to serve. Ryerson trails by 2 points in this set, but they lead 2-1 in sets. To the middle, Tully, but it's over off the dig with Ket Rosinski. Oh, that one was probably going out, but now to Xander, and he's going to swing, and that's dug, kept alive. Can Trent track it down? He can. It's just popped up. Xander will take another swing, dug by Hillman. That's tight. Oh, and that was a double and a net violation, but it's not called. Xander is blocked.
Let's just play.
Yeah. And you clearly letting the boys play on that one. We're the referees, and you know what? I don't really mind it. Might as well. It's a showcase.
Play.
At the end of the day, it's not gonna matter to anyone. There's such a great block there. Lenton joining in.
Great digs on both sides of the floor.
Now here's Skinner coming in as a serving sub. Webster is gonna pass that one. The kick from Ket Rosinski isn't gonna work. And it's 23-19. It's the Monsters Inc. point. There's a child in the monster world. Skinner goes at Webster again. He's been struggling a little bit here, and now Ket Rosinski, not a great approach. And Ohio State has another shot, and Lallemande is going to make no mistake about it. Put that one away. We have set point Ohio State 24-19.
Cooking now. That's great. Even though the ball did go to the outside, Ryerson middle blocker did still even go with the middle on the 30. They had very well.
They've had to. The middle's been doing such a great job this afternoon for Ohio State. And can they save this ball? Hillman's going to take a crack from the back row. Webster will take that. And now here's Hannon, and there's the aggressive swing they were waiting for. Joel Hannon goes off the dome of Lenton and out of bounds. Gives them a little apology after that one.
It's a good result, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Just watch his speed into the ball. It's so slow that all the force is coming from his arm swing.
Once again, just a product of that inexperience, coming to the game late, learning from the beach game where your approach is generally a little bit slower. Good pickup there by Alex King, and Hannon's just going to dump this one over. Doesn't hit the antenna, though. Lallemande is going to dump that one over. Now King. Ooh, that's going to be tight for Ket Rosinski. Here's a chance here for Ohio State to finish it. Devil Bliss, oh, and he's going to catch Trent right in the face on that one. Trent gives a thumbs up. Ohio State checks to see if he's good. And we are going to a fifth set. We are going the distance over here. Extra volleyball, whatever you want to call it. And we are back now for the fifth and deciding set. We're all knotted up here at 2 sets apiece. The Ohio State Buckeyes against the Ryerson Rams. And it's been a back and forth afternoon, but it's been an entertaining afternoon of volleyball.
Absolutely. I think when Ryerson takes advantage of in-system balls and can put the ball away, they've been very, very successful. When Ohio State has done the same, but also when they've added a little bit of defense into it, a few extra swings, it's been the difference maker for them. 26 kills for Xander Ket Rosinski coming into this fifth set. That's over 5 kills a set, averaging. And Lallemande actually at 16. Lallemande with a heavy swing. That first play there by Ryerson is into the net. And now here is Sam Clark. The buzzer went off, and
So it doesn't have to be called right away? I mean, that's pretty late. The ball's already on
the setting switch again.
The buzzer definitely did go off before anything happened in that play.
And it did look like Ryerson kind of stopped playing a little bit.
Well, that's usually like when the buzzer goes off, it's because there's an out of rotation call from the desk. So we're seeing right now as they're looking over the score sheet right now, so they're trying to figure out if they were in fact out of rotation. We'll see if what comes of this one. I mean, it'll either be a reserve or point Ryerson.
That's correct. I thought it was an inadvertent buzzer at first.
It may. I mean, it may. Or actually,
now that they're looking at something.
Yeah, now that they're looking at it, it's definitely not inadvertent. They would have notified it right away, and they're going to call it a reserve. They thought they were out of rotation. Kevin Birch does not look too impressed right now with the refereeing. And we are going to get back underway here in the fifth set as Sam Clark serving now for the Buckeyes. Schick is back on in place of Ket Rosinski. And a scramble play there by Ryerson, and somehow they keep it alive. Oh, but not long enough as Tolley was there to throw that one down. And Tolley has just been, there's been such a change from him between Saturday and today with his play in the middle. Been very, very impressed by Ethan Tolley. Outside now to Webster. He's looking for the touch, none given, and it's going to be a 3-0 Ohio State lead. That being said, I've never seen 3-0 leads evaporate as quick as they do in fifth sets. It's just something about a fifth set where it's like, there's so many times where it's like, okay, good, we're up 3-0, and the next thing you know, you sneeze and it's 3-3 again.
Especially in this match. I mean, that third set, 3-point swings almost every time until we got to about 20.
Still early in the season for both of these teams, able to go back and forth. For Ohio State, must be difficult. This is going to be their 14th set in the past 3 days. Yesterday they got it done early in 4 against McMaster. Although that one was another one where they kind of came back later in the set to take that fourth set.
Yeah, that match yesterday. I'm looking forward to seeing my alma mater, the McMaster Marauders, come back today with a different, hopefully a better appearance and a better showing. So. Yeah,
an error-filled outing by the McMaster Marauders yesterday, and they will be taking on the Lewis Flyers in our next match at 4:30 p.m. And I'm excited for that one because that's going to be 2 physical teams going toe-to-toe. But right now we've got another great one in the fifth set here. Ohio State leads Ryerson 3-0. Webster's going to chip that one in. And that's a tough pass there by Clark. Right side to Hillman. He'll swing away, and that one is going to fall. The setter connection there, Lenton to Hillman. And the senior is going to put it down. As we see here, does such a good job, Lenton did, to plant that feet, dish it to the right side. And especially when you have that lefty on the right side, it's a little bit more forgiving. You don't need to get it all the way out to the pin. Oh, my goodness. And it is just all momentum, all Ohio State right now, as there is a dribbler. Hits the tape and falls down on Sam Clark's serve. And we've got a 5-0 run right now for the Buckeyes. 6-0 if you count the last point of the last set. Another serve there by Clark. And they've been really going after Webster, and a good dig there. Oh, that's a tight set. And Hillman wipes that one off the block. 6-0 Buckeyes. Oh, such a good shot there by Hilton. Such a great shot there by the camera to capture that one.
Interesting with the setting change right here. The flow of the offense hasn't quite been there yet. And sometimes that's a new setter coming back in.
Yeah, I personally I would have loved to see Trent Ket Rosinski kind of go into this fifth set. But the connection there is recreated, but they have a long way to come back down 6-1 as Amari Young is going to put this one into play. Is that going to be over? It is. Oh, good dig. Oh,
Mikish gets the first one, but not quite the second.
He almost got the second one in the face.
Yeah.
Let's go Rams!
What's that video?
I'm
Scott
looking at
Sterling.
the- yeah,
Scott Sterling. There we
You and I
go.
both went there.
Oh, was it Meadle on Saturday night who took one off the face against Alberta? Good block there by Ryerson, and now they're on a little 3-point run of their own.
It's a great serve by Omari.
No panic yet from the Ohio State side. They still got that 3-point lead, but
And see, that's one that he brought down, right? And Ryerson was still in a read block, and he brought that down into his hands. His hands weren't even above the height of the net.
Devil Bliss is going to be slowed down, and once again we're seeing Xander Ket Rosinski. There was a net violation there, but he's just not quite ready, not stopped, feet still moving on defense. You know, had that ball continue, that definitely was a diggable ball. And now we have Hillman serving for the Buckeyes. And that one is going to go. He has an aggressive toss on it. I love it. And maybe a little bit too out far as he blows that one out the back. It's 7-4 now as Sheik is back in the back row to serve. And that means Xander Ket Rosinski is in the front. 3 options for the Rams. They haven't really been using that back row pipe at all. Good slow down by Tolly. And that will bring us to the side switch as the Buckeyes lead 8-4 here.
Tolly has been the difference maker.
He really has. Tolly is he's my man of the match for sure on the Ohio State side. And we see there Hillman just, you know, adding that veteran factor. They're switching sides. He daps everyone up. He says, "What's up? Let's go. Let's keep this momentum going." And that's really just what they were missing. They were missing that untangible of leadership in the early on sets. Yeah.
You're bang on.
Yeah. Sometimes my words don't come out as nicely as I'd like them to, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here as Devil Bliss puts that ball in. Going for the floater there, and oh, tough one by King, and that one is long. 9-4 in favor of the Buckeyes.
You don't need to play perfect if you're Ryerson. You just can't make a mistake.
No. Just got to keep that ball in play and give your defense, your block, a chance to do something special. As Barich going to stab at that one, and that's not a great set there by Schick. Outside now, Lamond, he's slowed down, kept alive by the Buckeyes. Mikish is going to give it to the other side. Hillman, oh, and that one was way outside into the crowd. But once again, you know, Mikish, he knows that he can just jack that ball up. It can be a little bit more on the inside for that C ball for Hillman because he is a lefty, because he has that ability. He doesn't need that ball to go to his right shoulder, and he can attack it much easier than a right-handed attacker can. Up there for Lalmond, and touch called on Ryerson as off the top of the block of Xander Ket Rosinski. 10-5 for the Buckeyes.
Here for the Buckeyes, number 18, Kyle Skinner.
And Skinner, we've seen him come in, serve the ace last time. As far as I know, serving the ace is the most effective way of winning volleyball games.
Save that energy.
Oh, ooh. I mean, Devil Bliss was right there to make that call. It looked into me, but I wear glasses. I don't have the best eyes.
That's a tough thing to do when you're sliding on your rear end.
Let's see here. Tough to see. Tough to see. There's like, the lines person was right there as well to make that call. So I trust Maxine. She's generally a pretty good referee here.
Just a reminder that tomorrow's stream will be on the sportcanada.tv website, but it'll also be streamed on cbcsports.ca, cbc.ca, and the GEM app if you've got that here in Canada. If you're in the U.S., you can stream it through CBC Sports or cbc.com. And that will be a free stream for everyone tomorrow. We're trying to get a little wider audience to be able to view everything tomorrow as well. And a little New Year's Day or New Year's Eve present for everyone.
And you know what? Maybe if you're in town, you can come down, join us, grab a couple pops from Beach's Brewery, and set up your pregame here at the CanAm Volleyball Holiday Classic, Holiday Showcase.
calling it a classic now. By next year, it could be a
I
classic.
think this could, this has the feel that it could develop into something classic. Maybe the invites go out in like June to the top 4 Canadian and top 4 American teams. Who knows what can come of this? Maybe it expands. It's been a great couple of days so far of volleyball. We're only halfway through, and this first match here today leads me to believe that that's going to continue. Is Ket Rosinski? Oh, he thought he caught hands. Tough call there.
Cole tried to sell it.
Maybe we'll see it here on the replay. Ooh,
Can't
close.
tell.
Close.
Would have been a fingernail, if anything.
Outside now to Hannon. Oh, and Joel Hannon going up top and down.
It's nice and high.
Yeah. Doesn't seem too pleased with that shot, though.
Still that de-acceleration.
We'll work on it, Joel. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
Call me up. I'll give you some privates, and we can fix that for you. Oh, and there's Sean Ryan going back door.
Yeah, Ryerson's trying to put some pressure from the service line. Doing a good job. There's not a lot of errors, but the response is an even better pass by Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio State has really found another level here in this fifth set, and they're starting to play differently. And I have to say, Andrew Hillman has made a huge difference for the Buckeyes. And forcing it a little bit. Hey, got to find something to work there. As it's still 13-8 here for the Rams. As Hannon's going to go along with that one, and it is going to be match point Buckeyes, leading 14-8 here. And this will be the last few points here for either team in this showcase. If you're a fan of the Ohio State Buckeyes, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. Schick, right side. Xander, Doug, middle dig as well. Now Hillman, and that is off the block and out of bounds. Ohio State picks up the win, 15-8 in the fifth set, and they finish this CanAm Volleyball Holiday Showcase with a 2-1 record.
A fitting way to finish.